Hi everybody, Jason here, and today we're just going to be doing a little bit of a game review. I just recently finished playing... Oh, let me just move that. I just recently finished playing Song of the Deep, and although it's been a little while since it actually came out, I finally beat it, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about it, and sort of give my thoughts and basically a final review on the game. Alright, so Song of the Deep is a game that was made by Insomniac. And it was the first game in the line of games that GameStop is helping to fund, basically helping studios create like games that they want to make and release them to the public through their stores. The game released at $15 for the full retail version. I mean, that's what this is. I mean, $15 for a case and a disc with a game on it. Not a bad price. Overall, I really enjoyed the game. Controls. I mean, being underneath water, it gave you like that little bit of a floaty thing, which made it hard to dodge enemies and things like that. But overall, it played very solid. As far as the story goes, that was its strongest point, I think. Story and atmosphere definitely did really well on creating a living and breathing world in which you actually felt like you were underwater, and it felt scary, and it felt very real. Well, not real in a sense of, but you felt like you could actually, you were actually there with the character. It was surprising how quickly I got through the game. It took me, I want to say, just over 8 hours to finish the game. And when I say finish the game, I mean completely finish the game. It took me about 6.5 hours to actually beat it. And I did all that on my Twitch stream, which all those streams will be broken down and put out as episodes that you'll find on YouTube here. Some of them are already out. I want to say like a good half of it is. Oh, excuse me. My nose is kind of itchy. Anyway, I mean, overall, it was a pretty good game. I mean, for $15, I really cannot complain. I mean, just for the fact that it was $15, I mean, if I was on a scale of like 4 out, like 5 stars or whatever, I'd probably give it like 4, just for the fact that it was $15. I really liked the story, and it looked fantastic. I mean, really the only flaws that I have is that after you beat it, there's no real reason to go back and continue. Anyway, there wasn't really any real reason to go back and continue playing it. Thankfully, I finished like 100%ing it the day that I actually completed the game today, and I'll put a couple pictures here just to show like the level of completion that I actually achieved like in the game, because there's collectibles and everything, and I didn't have to collect everything to finish everything. So and when I say 100%, I mean like as far as trophies and or achievements that you could achieve in the game for it to say that it was 100% complete. So I got all those, and I'll show that here. But yeah, so it took me about, just over 8 hours to do everything like that. It would have taken me a lot longer to actually get everything, and I would have probably had a much higher percent completion of the actual game itself had I known how to get into certain hidden spots, or how to unlock certain types of treasure chests, because there's treasure chests that were wrapped in chains that was never really quite explained how to get into. There was upside down treasure chests, which was never explained really how to get to. There were silver plants that were really never explained as to how to get rid of. And then there were pufferfish that was never really explained like how to get by. So those particular hurdles, even though I technically had the tools to get by them, I didn't know how to do it properly, so therefore I either stumbled across them and then ignored them, or spent 10-15 minutes trying to actually get by them when I didn't really need to. Like, I probably could have gotten by them in like 5 minutes, or a heck of a lot less than that, like 5 seconds really. So There were some gaps in the actual tutorial type or teaching you how to play the game to the fullest extent. But I mean, aside from that, like, it did really well at doing... Okay, leave. Go. I'm trying to cut out the air conditioner noise, and the cat was just like opening up the door. Anyway, but that doesn't really detract that much from the game because the collectibles weren't really that big a deal. There were some special collectibles that you could get by completing certain events or going to certain hidden areas, but even then, they weren't necessary for the beating of the game. The main equipment that you got just by playing each of the sections was all you really needed to get through it, and I didn't even have my ship fully upgraded to beat the final boss. Boss battles were probably another area that were a bit lacking in this game. You fought a lot of the same thing, and although there was a decent amount of challenge in a couple of them, most of them were pretty generic and easy, and all you had to do was basically repeat a pattern a couple times, and then even the ones that were more difficult, it was repeating the pattern with a couple other things stopping you from making it easy. There were, I want to say, 2 boss fights in the game that were not the same. One was against something called the Watcher, and one was the very end. I hope I'm remembering all of them. Either way, those were fun enough, but honestly, I had a harder time beating some of the mid-game bosses than I did even the final boss. But, I mean, all things aside, it's not about the bosses, it's just, for me, it's about the story. Like, the story of this game was what carried it. The story of the game is what actually made it worthwhile playing, and that coupled with the environment that was built up around everything was fantastic. So, on the other side of things, they released a book, which I don't have near me right now, otherwise I would have shown it. They released a book at the same time as the game came out. And the book was basically written by one of the creators of the game to help basically give you an idea of like what the game was and give you the story. And he wrote it, and I think it was very sweet that he wrote it for the benefit of his daughter, to show that, you know, you don't have to be like a really pretty person to get far in life. You can be an average, everyday person and still have the strength and capabilities to do great things. So that's why he wrote it. The book itself was made for a younger audience, of course. I mean, it was made for his daughter to read. And so it was very short, very quick and easy to read. But it actually touched on some really deep and dark places that I wouldn't expect like that type of book to actually go to. There were some differences in the way that the story progressed in the book as to how the story progressed in the game. Nothing really that noticeable, nothing really that made a huge difference, but the book kind of, you know, as they always say, it explained things a lot better than the actual game ended up doing. Not that the game did a bad job at it. I mean, if you never read the book and played the game and didn't know like where certain things differed or why certain things were the way that they were, I mean, you wouldn't know any better, and it wouldn't hurt the experience whatsoever. But either way, closing thought is, if you have $15 to spend and you like a Metroidvania type game where you don't necessarily mind that it's only going to take you about like 6 to 10 hours to actually beat it, I'd say go for it. If exploring a huge underwater area and backtracking a lot and fighting bosses and, you know, having a story based around like a little girl are not your thing, then don't play it. But I, for one, am a big fan of Metroid or Castlevania type games. This one sort of hit the spot. I was surprised at how quickly it was over, but overall I was very happy with the journey. If you've played this game, you know, let me know down below what you think about it. Don't forget to, you know, subscribe, you know, for updates and other further reviews that I'll end up doing. And then I'll post a video link up here, just showing you another video or review that I've got that maybe you might want to check out. But yeah, we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. I'm being quiet because, you know, Link doesn't talk.